Well, good evening, everybody. Welcome to show number 3. That's right, show number 3 of the Let's Go Racing Motorsports Report. I am Mike Babicz, your host, and the voice of the Wilmot Raceway, where we'll have our season opener this coming Saturday night, May the 4th. We'll talk a little bit about that later. And I'm at my in-home studio, thanks to Scott Carpenter and B&L Office Furniture of Kenosha, Wisconsin. We want to thank them for all their help and support. I got a beautiful electric desk here that raises and lowers, and I got a nice chair, nice comfy chair, and we're going to do some more stuff with our in-home studio later on. But again, we want to thank Scott Carpenter, and if you need office furniture, especially chairs, I mean, if you're looking for a nice, comfortable chair for your home studio or your home office, hey, get in touch with Scott Carpenter and make sure with all of our sponsors that you help support them and make sure you tell them you heard about them on the Let's Go Racing Motorsports Report. Our show is also brought to you by RC Communications in Salem Lakes, Wisconsin. For all your communication needs, get in touch with them at RC Communications. They have scanners, they have radios, they have multiple radios if you need it for your business or for your race team. Contact RC Communications. Of course, our good friends at Great Lakes Dragaway. Great Lakes Dragaway opens 6 days a week. Well, and during the holidays, it's even 7 days a week. So we'll be talking with John very shortly about what's coming up at Great Lakes Dragaway. Great supporter of us here at the Let's Go Racing Motorsports Report. Also, the Interstate Racing Association and Steve Sinclair. I talked to Steve about 30 minutes ago. He's at a World of Outlaws show in Jacksonville, Illinois. They've got 54 winged Outlaw 410 sprint cars signed in, including, I think he said there was like 4 IRA cars. They are scheduled to be in Minnesota this Friday night, and then at Cedar Lake in Wisconsin and New Richmond, Wisconsin, just this side of the border from Minnesota on Saturday night. Also, the Autometer Wisconsin wingless sprint cars will be debuting their first time this year at Wilmot. They actually debuted last Saturday night at Plymouth, but got rained out after their heat races as they took to the track to try to run their feature event. Mother Nature said, I'm the only winner for the wingless sprints. So they will be looking for their first actual full program this Saturday night at Wilmot Raceway. Also, Wilmot Raceway coming on board as a season sponsor of us here. And as I mentioned, Wilmot Raceway going to open up the season this Saturday night, May the 4th, with the Autometer Wisconsin wingless sprint cars, also the IRA Lightning sprints, as well as the B&L Office Furniture American Tire Bandit 4-cylinder stock cars, and the modifieds. So we'll have a little bit more about what's happening Saturday night at Wilmot a little bit later on in the program. Also want to thank A1 Apparel and Diecast, and of course, Lake County Hose and Equipment. If you need any help with your hoses for your vehicles, whether it be a big truck or a small car, contact Bill Fusting and the fine crew at Lake County Hose and Equipment. And a couple more sponsors that we have, MLS Auto Clinic on Highway 50 in Kenosha. Eddie and Debbie Boyd, longtime supporters of motorsports in the area. And we want to thank them as well. And also, this deal just came about in the last 10 minutes, literally. Kent doesn't even know. But Buddy's Pizza at 1138 North Green Street in McHenry is now a sponsor of the program, thanks to Sean thanks to Tony Jenkins and Steve Sinclair. We met Sean last Monday night after we did the show. And Buddy's Pizza is going to be our quasi-home off and on during the car shows on Green Street when they start up on Monday nights. So we are going to be down there doing some recording, and also we may do some live broadcast as well. So we'll work out all the logistics a little bit later, but thanks to Sean at Buddy's Pizza, they're open for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. They've got those signature omelets for breakfast and specialty pizzas for dinner and a great lunch as well. And they also do have a meeting room available. That's Buddy's Pizza, 1138 North Green Street in McHenry. So, again, we've just got a lot to do tonight, but I think we're going to start off bringing in John. John going to join us, I think, out of the green room.
Yeah.
There he is. And John's from Great Lakes Dragway up there in Union Grove, Wisconsin. They've had a busy season already. And so, John, welcome to the program. Thanks again to you and Randy for your support. And we look forward to having you folks with us all season long. We also may sneak up to Great Lakes Dragway some Wednesday and actually do the show from Great Lakes Dragway. So
that'd be neat. That'd be great.
That kind of planned in the works as well. But what do you have coming up this coming week or so up there at Great Lakes Dragway?
Well, next Saturday, May 11th, we've got Nitrous Streetcar Brawl, which is also going to include that Wisconsin Outlaw Street Class, which is a really exciting race. That's something that was new last year, and we're going to have a really good prep track for that. Some really fast side-by-side action with these cars. I was watching it last year, and I was really kind of pleased. It's kind of a very neat spectator race for people to watch. It's really exciting. It's a good time.
And what kind of cars will they see in competing in those kind of drags?
So that Wisconsin Outlaw Street, there's a lot of smaller tires, some of the 10.5-inch pro bracket radial tire cars that go really, really fast. I mean, some of those cars are capable of going sub 7 seconds, high 6 seconds in the quarter mile. There's also some big tire cars that will be going on. In addition, on that race at the Streetcar Brawl, we're going to have our group that I race with, the Bruce City Gassers. We've got a Gasser group, and then there's
wait a minute. You work at the track and you race too?
Yeah. Well, actually, we have a group, Bruce City Gassers. We put on a race that's coming up the end of June, the Out of Sight drags, and that's all 1966 and older type vehicles that are period correct wheels. So it kind of looks like back in the day. But I've got a 62 Corvette Gasser that I race up there. So.
Well, that might actually work out well, because on Wednesday, June the 12th, we are probably going to be broadcasting live from the Culvers there, the new Culvers in Paddock Lake. Ray is working with us, and we're going to have a car show on June 12th, Wednesday, June 12th. It's going to start about 4 o'clock in the afternoon, go until it gets dark, and we might even stay there after it gets dark, because, custard is still good, even if it's dark outside. So we want folks to plan on it. It's open to any kind of race cars, any kind of street vehicles. We really want to get a really big turnout Wednesday, June 12th. So, John, we hope you might be able to bring your gasser there.
Absolutely. I would put it on our calendar. That would be good. Like I say, we could promote our race and bring it out there and promote the Culvers out there. That would be a good time. Yeah, that would be fun.
Anything, like Great Lakes Dragway has been there for a long, long time. As long as I can remember, good old Broadway Bob, really the guy that, when it came to racing in the area, it was Broadway Bob. And not only racing, but a showman. I mean, he knew how to put on a show and entertain folks. We did a lot of cooperative work with him at Wilmot Raceway. I mean, he would bring over his dragon and have his dragon do shows for us at Wilmot. And then it was usually at the end of the year, and we would promote his drag racing. And on Sundays, a lot of us that worked at Wilmot would go over to Great Lakes Dragway and take in the races over there. Just a great guy. And sure. I know Randy and your crew have kept that tradition going and kept that spirit going that that Broadway Bob began quite a number of years ago.
Yeah, we've got a lot of neat things. Also something that's new at the track. We have an RC drag race track set up there, which is kind of nice for the RC guys. It's all asphalt and it's set to scale, which is pretty cool. There's some really fast little RC cars. Grandstands now that are all been redone, and we've got a new set of grandstands on the east side of the track, which is something new this year. Also, that's pretty cool. Right on the starting line. That's really kind of neat. You look down at the cars. It's a good place to be. Yeah.
And I noticed too when we came up there a few weeks ago and met with Randy and his wife. You guys also have kind of a grass course set up. Do you do some grass drags as well?
Yeah, they do. The snowmobiles will do that with the grass drags. They'll do that. They have it set up and they take care of that pretty nice over on the west side of the track there. Try to get some, and also with the drifting track we have there too. That's been real popular. That's pretty neat to watch those guys. It's kind of neat to see how they evolved from the beginning of where they were driving around there till now. These guys are really skilled, going around those cones really fast and making the turns. It's kind of neat to watch. Yeah.
Well, you mentioned, the RC racing and at the car show a couple of weeks ago, we did have some drifting RC cars. They're a group based out of Waukegan, and they put on a nice exhibition for us actually on the street and down at the Waukegan Harbor. And when I talked to them, I'm going to get them on one of our shows here, and they are interested in kind of spreading out. They may come to Culver's on June 12th as well. And I think that they would probably like coming up to Great Lakes Dragway sometime. And it's unbelievable to watch them. I mean, they do drifting with RC cars.
Wow, that's cool. Yeah, that would be neat. Yeah, we'll definitely have our club out there for the get to the Culvers out there on the 12th. That would be real easy for a lot of us to make that show too. And we're also kind of getting excited too about the Six Summers coming back again this year. So that's coming up in June. They're going to be June 13th. They're going to be here at Great Lakes Dragway. So right after the Culvers show, they do their drag and drive event where they're going to start at Byron, go to Cordova, and then Tri-State a raceway in Iowa, and then to Great Lakes Dragway and back to Byron. So it's kind of neat watching some of these cars that capable of running 6-second quarter miles that drive them on the street from to each track. And some like Cletus McFarland and some of the other celebrities that are on the internet and that they'll be here. That's pretty cool.
Well, I know years ago when I did a little announcing for Broadway Bob there at Great Lakes Dragway, there was one time we were up in the tower and they had the jet rocket cars there, and Bob came up and kind of whispered in my ear. He says, keep an eye on the times and keep an eye on the top miles per hour that these go. But if they get above, and I forget what the magic number was, he goes, don't announce it, because he says we're only licensed for X number miles an hour. And if we go over, and at that time, I think it was the NHRA was involved, he goes, we can get in trouble. Okay. So he says, don't say anything about the speed or that. He says, we might even turn off the display on the on the clock, so the fans can't see how fast they went, and just say they went real fast. Yeah. So what is currently the top speed there at Great Lakes Dragway? Do you know?
Well, the top speed, I remember in 1978, a hydrogen peroxide rocket, I think, went wasn't it 342 miles an hour? I remember that's one that kind of stuck in my head. I think this Ed Ballinger set a record. I had a newspaper clipping from Kenosha News, and it said that he had set that. But I don't know, Randy, sitting over here, Eddie, you know what the top speed ever was at this track?
No, but the Jets could only go 315.
The Jets could only go 315 is what Randy was saying. Yeah.
That's all we said they ever went. But
yeah.
Well, I'll tell you, and I guess one other thing I want to ask, Bill Fusting, his son and his daughter, Kimbra Starr, and then Joey, they got started in junior dragsters.
Yes.
A number of years ago. And I remember they used to have to come out to Great Lakes Dragway pretty early in the morning because the junior dragsters ran, like between 8 and 10 o'clock or something like that before, the big cars, took to the track. but they ran on the same track as the big cars. Do you still have a junior dragster program, and how's it work? How do people find out more about that one?
Yeah, absolutely, we do. And they run now when they run the bracket races, which is what we have going on different weekends. They run the juniors with the bracket racers. In fact, it's coming up. The bracket racing. Let's see, what's that, Wendy? This weekend, the bracket races. There will be some junior dragsters out. They'll run them during the bracket races, and they go an 8th mile. There's a turnout there that they open up so they can get down at the 8th mile. It works out real nice, and it's very popular. And it's nice because a lot of the bracket racers have their kids into the junior program, so they can come out. So if you want to come out during the weekend, this next weekend coming up, it's a bracket weekend. They'll be out here in force.
And of course, I know a week from this Saturday, I think I've got my right date. I probably better, otherwise my wife, who's sitting over here watching me, will probably throw something at me. I believe Mother's Day is coming up, and if I recall correctly, in looking at your schedule, Randy made sure that he wasn't going to get in any trouble with any of the ladies out there, especially his wife, because there's no racing on Mother's Day at Great Lakes Dragway. The track is quiet.
That's correct. Yeah. There's certain holidays that we close on, like 4th of July, also on the 4th of July. But we have a pretty good night of fire race that's going to be on the Saturday of the 4th of July weekend there. That's all the jet cars and stuff. That's always a really good event. A lot of fun.
Okay. And again, for folks wanting to find out more information, a website, a Facebook page, where can they go? Or, and the all important phone number too for Great Lakes Dragway.
Sure. It's greatlakesdragway.com is the website, and Great Lakes Dragway is on Facebook. If you look up Great Lakes Dragway, there's also some, like I had said before, there's some neat pages like Great Lakes Dragway the first 40 years with a lot of the old photos and that. Phone number you can call is 262-878-3783. And usually Randy or Claire, one of them, will be answering the phone here if you call during the day. We also do track rentals during the week if somebody wants to rent the track and come out and do some testing. And that's also what is available during like from noon till 5 o'clock or so, depending on the day. And we do a lot of track rentals during the year, which is kind of nice.
Well, Mother Nature cooperating with us tonight.
Yes.
When we were on a couple weeks ago, or actually when we went up and saw Randy, he had already canceled because the rain was coming, and he was right. The rain came.
Yeah. There's quite a few guys that came in already, and they're racing right now. I know that the weather might be a little bit crappy tomorrow, which is usually the night where we have Sticky Thursdays, where they prep the track, which is either drag radials or slicks only, no street tires. And it's really glued for the guys that want to test to go to some of the big races. But I see there's a few guys I drove through the lot here right before I came in, and there's quite a few neat cars out here now that are running tonight, some fast ones.
All right. Well, again, we're looking forward to getting out by you with the show and doing the show live sometime soon. And again, thank you to John, and thank you to Randy, and thank you to Colette. We appreciate all your guys' support of the Let's Go Racing Motorsports Report, and we'll look forward to seeing you real soon.
Sounds good. Thanks for having us on. We'll talk to you later, Mike. Have a good one.
Thanks. Good night.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Okay, and that was John and the gang from Great Lakes Dragway that was joining us. And now we're going to shift gears, no pun intended, to the guy who has now figured out all his IT stuff. And I actually think he got his son Tyler on the phone. We're going to talk with Kurt Davis. Kurt Hollywood Davis.
How you doing?
Hey, doing pretty good there, Kurt. Man, where are you talking to us from? It looks like you could be in a hauler.
I am in my shop, actually. And tonight's fire up night. We're going to fire the car up and then actually get everything loaded up for the weekend.
All righty. Well, we did have Tyler on with us last week, and maybe you can give us a report. How did Tyler's team do? I understand, I think Friday they got rained out. On Friday night out there at Knoxville, but did they get Saturday in?
They didn't get nothing in. They got rained out the whole weekend. So Tyler, actually, a little report on Ty is he ended up back in. He left the show and then he ended up going to the hospital. He's got gallstones.
Oh goodness!
So he's a little under the weather. That was his health issue going on.
Well,
So,
we wish him well, and we'll keep him in our prayers and our thoughts. Do you know if his team is at Jacksonville? I know I mentioned earlier, I just heard from Steve Sinclair about an hour ago. He's at Jacksonville, and they got 54 cars signed in for the World of Outlaws show down there. Jake Blackhurst, Jake Newman, and also Scotty Thiel, and of course Bill Baylog are all down there from up in our area. Of course, Baylog is running the entire season this year with the World of Outlaws. Thiel's running most of it, and Blackhurst and Newman happen to be they live down in the Jacksonville area or near there, so they're racing tonight with them as well. Do you know if the 88 team made the trip?
the 88 team is there. Without Ty. Ty is back home right now, getting his health put back together there. And but the 88 team is down there, along with the rest of them. Actually, Bishop, the late model outlaw driver, is Shepard is down there in one of Newman's cars for his first time in a sprint car, or first time in a while in a sprint car. I guess he's ran a sprint car before, or I don't know, just practice, or if he actually ran like a 305 or something. So,
well, it'll be interesting to see how all that works. Of course, the World of Outlaws coming up at Beaver Dam in I don't know, about a month or so, and then they're going to be at Wilmot for a really big show in July, a Friday and a Saturday. First time they've ever been at Wilmot for a 2-day show. So a lot of things are planned for that weekend at Wilmot, and we'll have more on that, as we get closer, and we'll probably get some of the World of Outlaw guys on with us as well. Well, Kurt, and I didn't want to steal your thunder, but we had, told everybody about this big announcement that Kurt was going to have last week about his team and in the 39th year and everything. And then we had some technical issues. So I stole it off of your Facebook page and kind of read to folks off the Facebook page what you were going to do. But now that you're here, why don't you explain what you're doing in 2024, a very special dedication that you're having for your 39th year?
Yeah, it was just fitting, actually. I've been a longtime friends with the Posse family, and Doug, which is Earl's dad, used to come always over and watch. He'd come down and watch us at Manitowoc a lot when we ran Manitowoc every Friday. And, he was the type of guy that would come over and give you $100 handshake or kid around with you and tell you, hey, the first time he ever did it, he's like, yeah, there's a tire over at the tire truck. And I'm like, yeah, I know. There's a whole pile of tires over at the tire truck. He's like, no, there's one over there with your name on it. And he was just that type of guy, and that's how I got to know the Posses. And then Earl and Doug got a whim one time. I mean, Earl was racing up in Escanaba and that, and they wanted to do the sprint car deal. So, of course, I returned the favor and helped them out as much as I could, and found him some parts and helped him out on setups, and always advice for him. And actually, then Cole started racing some, and then Cole started a family, and then Earl got out, and then Cole was racing, put a car together and was racing. And actually, I bought Cole a tire and told him it was from Doug. So then Cole had his accident, and now Cole is watching above for all of us. And I want to dedicate the year to Cole Posse, and we're going to run his number, the 39, for the whole season, to keep Cole alive and racing with us. He's just one of them type of guys, the kid, I mean, that always smiling. He could have finished last, and he was always smiling, always willing to help somebody, always wanting to be involved. I mean, he would leave his car and come and help you put your car back together, type thing. And the whole Posse family's like that. I mean, I could tell you stories on, taking my kids up to the Posse camp up in Escanaba, and them taking us down to Escanaba River, and just really good people. So my team decided to put the 39 on our car, and that came about at Cole's funeral, actually. Jody Posse, when I had come up in line and gave our respects, Jody was harassing me, telling me I had to change something on my car. I've been red and yellow, and you're always that same number, that same car, color, everything. I said, that's because people could see it and they recognize it. She's like, you got to change something. So here I called him up and asked permission. I asked him if I could run the 39. I said, here's my change. You know, this all became because the thought process came from her, actually. So I am proud to run it. I hope we can get him into victory lane. And it's actually become bigger than I thought it was. This wasn't a deal where I thought, I thought it was just a good, respectful thing to do for the family. And I think I gained a lot of Uper fans actually over this. And that's what Earl says. And we put the shirt together now, and actually in my shirt now, it actually has a picture of Cole and his 2 kids in the background of the shirt. So looking forward to it. Looking forward to getting going this weekend. For the first weekend, I'm running a Cole Posse schedule, which is not every week.
But does that mean you're going to run 39 total races?
No. We're going to do 20. Right now, what's on the schedule is 21. We're going to go out this weekend. I think we're back May 18th. Of course, we're going to be at the Wilmot show when we're down, when the 360s come down there. And I'm actually going to run the following night is the Open 410 show down at Wilmot. So we're having a 2-day show also at Wilmot. Quite not as big as the Outlaw show, but we'll be there for 2 nights and having some fun and maybe making some new memories of Wilmot, because I know we all have old memories of Wilmot.
Oh, are you saying we're old, Kurt?
Yeah, I feel it. I'm starting to get old.
Well, I'll tell you,
I'll still put a whooping on him.
Yeah, I'm going to put you on the spot here just a tad. Do you remember a rainout that we had at Wilmot? Not that we had any rainouts at Wilmot, but you were already there. You were in the pits.
I know it's
do you remember what you did for some fun? Since we were canceled, and all of a sudden I'm walking around the pits, and we're all deciding what we're going to do, and I come over by your hauler, and you had done something. Do you remember what you did?
That was it could be a couple different things.
This one was clean.
One was Mudman. Are you talking about the Mudman weekend?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes. That was we always have fun when we go to the races. That's part of this deal, is we got to have fun doing this. We spend enough money and time on it, and a lot of people dedicate their money and time to it behind the scenes. And so when we go to the races, we're serious about it, but we like to have a lot of fun. And Mudman was there with us.
Yep, and it was kind of cool. I think there's I know there was a lot of pictures taken of it, so I think there's pictures somewhere that may resurface now. Wilmot's 75th is coming up next year. I think it would be most appropriate if Mudman made an appearance.
Absolutely.
So, we'll have to see if we can't get a picture and get that in there. And definitely, have some fun. And like you say, Kurt, I mean, you and I, well, you brought it up last year when I ran into you. I announced your first feature that you ever won.
You did.
And you were hoping that I might do ties first, but it didn't quite work out that way that night.
No. Who knows? It may happen this year. Who knows?
Yeah, could still happen this year, but we do go way back, and it's funny. One of your main sponsors used to be Culver's, so you are certainly welcome to come down June 12th, Wednesday night, to the Culver's in Paddock Lake. I don't know if you've still got any Culver's wings lying around your shop.
They are still an active sponsor of mine.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
You even got more of a reason to come down.
Absolutely.
and
I will see what the schedule brings, and we may be able to possibility bring the car down.
Yep, we will definitely have fun. That's guaranteed.
Mike, one of the things about Wilmot, this is something that goes way back to that first victory in the sprint car at Wilmot, was one of the things that I remember. And I remember this as a kid, and I remember this as a young adult starting a race, was we used to all leave the pits and go through the infield and park in turns 1 and 2.
Correct.
and all the fans would come out.
Mhm.
I did not make it halfway across the infield that night because the kids were running towards my car because at that time I had the open trailer and we had won the feature that night and the car was out on the trailer and them kids made me stop halfway through the infield and surrounded me because they wanted my autograph.
Yeah.
And I will remember and cherish that night forever as what Wilmot is about.
Yep, it's about the kids. It's about the kids. It's about the fans. I mean, people say, "Why do you keep doing this?" I've been in racing since 1977 at Waukegan. I've been at Wilmot. I've been at Plymouth. I've been all over. But Wilmot's my home. I mean, it's literally 10, 15 minutes from my house. I could almost walk there if I really wanted to get some exercise. But I mean, it is. And I mean, that's why I stay at Wilmot. And I love like when you come in and you're racing or when you came and you were with Ty, even though you weren't racing, and we got talking and that's what it's all about. That's a lot of fun. And like you say, we made memories back then. Well, we're still making memories.
Absolutely.
And this Saturday, Wilmot opens up for its 74th season. Next year, the 75th, there are a lot, and I can't reveal them, but there are a lot of plans for the 75th. So, stay tuned. It's going to be fun. There's been a lot of changes to Wilmot. The track configuration is different now than when you won your first race. But the walls are definitely different. The fence is different. Currently, it's been talked about bringing the haulers back off of 1 and 2. I don't know if that's ever going to transpire, but it has been brought up more than once. So, we'll just have to wait and see what happens. That's beyond my pay grade, so I don't make that decision.
I think in the 75th year they need to do that one night, make it a special night or something.
Yeah, a throwback night, and
pump it up. And
but I'll tell you what else will require, Kurt.
Yeah,
everybody's got to bring their car in an open trailer.
Absolutely.
I hate enclosed trailers because most of them don't have anything on them; they're blank.
Yeah.
And John Q. Public and the little kids have no idea what's going by them down the highway.
Yeah, no, I get it. I'm a fan of that too. But nowadays, the way that the world has changed, you almost got to put your stuff in a box.
Yeah. So
be protected. So, but it's. I love going down to Wilmot. I love racing there. It used to be one of my favorite tracks. When it still is a favorite, but I like the old Wilmot configuration because you didn't need as much motor. You could win there without a big motor. My favorite track is Dodge County. If it's in Wisconsin, I like Dodge County. I like the speeds, but it's. I'm looking forward to coming down to Wilmot. I think we're there towards the end of the year, and I'm looking forward to getting going this weekend. Actually, up at Plymouth.
Well, good luck to you this week at Plymouth. We'll be looking for a report on how Hollywood did. And also, any night that you have off, since you're not racing all the time, if you have a Saturday off and we're running down at Wilmot, you're more than welcome to come down and join me on the microphone. I would love it.
Absolutely. Maybe that's something I got to do to see if I can practice enough maybe that's what I do when I retire from driving.
There you go. I mean, I never did drive. So.
Yeah.
So, but all right. Well, Kurt, we appreciate it. Best of luck this week with the 39 car. And I know you're going to do well and you're going to do a very good job this weekend and the rest of the season.
I will do my best I can. I just want to thank my guys and girls that are on my team. Hef, Mike, Bob, Sydney, Jenny and Jenny, Eddie, Michaela, Zach and Boomer. If it wasn't for all these people behind me and here actually waiting for me to fire up that race car tonight yet, I couldn't do this alone. So I want to thank them. And then all our marketing partners. Too long to list. We'll do that in Victory Lane.
There you go. I'll meet you in Victory Lane at Wilmot.
Absolutely. Sounds like a date, Mike.
All right. Sounds good. Thanks a lot, Kurt. Take care. Good night. God bless.
Thank you.
That was Kurt Hollywood Davis, who will be, driving the 39 this year. A little special number for him. And then also we'll see him down at Wilmot sometime in September, toward the end of the season. Well, we are going to shift gears now. Scott, we're going to kind of keep you hanging there for a little bit because I know Ralph Johnson has to go back to work. At least I think he does. So, Ralph, welcome to the program. And the first thing I've got to do, I know I've thanked you a million times, but you helped me do a bucket list the day after my birthday, but that's okay. It was still kind of my birthday present. I got to drive your 29J backup car, a wingless sprint car, at Wilmot in the practice session by myself. Chris Klemko said, "Don't hit the wall unless you want to sign it." And I didn't hit the wall, but it was a lot of fun. I really appreciate your help. I'm glad nobody was videoing when I was first trying to sit down in the car and did my header on your your engine cover. But I really did enjoy it. It was a lot of fun. And Ralph, thank you and your crew for allowing that to happen. And thanks to Chris Klemko and the Wilmot Raceway team too for allowing it to happen. And that was a bucket list thing for me to do.
It was my pleasure.
Well, now you did race, I believe, last weekend up at Plymouth. It was an abbreviated show for the Autometer Wisconsin Wingless Sprints powered by Gandrud. But those things happen. Mother Nature's ultimately got the biggest hand. And but how did things go for you prior to the rain? I know the feature didn't get run, but you guys did get qualifying in. You got the heats in. How did things go for you?
Not too bad. Still shaking down the new car. Had a power steering line break at Wilmot during practice, so I didn't really get to get a whole lot of good consecutive laps in, but we're figuring it out. So it's better than my 07. I moved up a couple of years to like a 10 or 11 now. So
what is there different between the quote new car and the old car?
So the differences between my car is the back of the cage is a little bit longer, it goes up a little bit higher, it's a little more safer for the driver. Besides that, it's just newer, not as abused.
What do you plan on doing with the backup car, or is that exactly what it's going to be, a backup car?
It's a backup car, but I might throw a wing on it, run with MSA here and there, do a couple of the crate wing shows at Wilmot. And if anything happens to the pink car, I don't have to scramble in a week to put another car together to make the next show. I can just hop in that car.
Will you have, I know you did for practice, but will you have both cars at the track ready to go on every race night?
If I can race both of them, probably. So if we're at Wilmot and we have a wing show too, the crates are racing with wings on, I'll have the car there probably too. And I'll do double duty.
Okay, sponsors that you want to thank, marketing partners that get you to the racetrack every week.
Temptations Racing has been a huge supporter. It's my first sponsor. The Gertners, Big George, they help out a lot. Team Temptations. Mike Minen at M&M Auto Salvage, Chrome Inc., Powder Coating in Bristol, and then Beautiful Beulah's hair salon in Twin Lakes. It's pretty much all I got. I mean, a little budget.
Right. If somebody wants to come on board with you, how do they get in touch with you?
You can reach me on Facebook, find me at the track. I'm sure somebody will point you in the right direction to get a hold of me.
Well, and I mentioned that you might have to go back to work. I'm not sure if you do or not. I know last week we wanted to try to get you on, and you were at work. What do you do for a quote day job when you're not racing?
So I've worked with Chrysler since I was 19, and I started in 2010 at the Kenosha engine plant, and then I was there till end of 2010. Then I transferred to the Belvedere assembly plant, and I was on that line for 12 years, 13 years. Then they shut down. Now I'm up in Milwaukee at their Mopar warehouse distributing parts. So Been with
So-
Chrysler for like 13, 14 years now.
So now with all that work with Chrysler, what kind of engine do you have in the 29J?
Chevy power, baby.
Can't talk Chrysler into giving you one of those extra motors?
No, that's not.
Not going to happen, huh?
No.
Okay. Well, what are your goals for 2024? Are you
Just make more features, try to figure out my car more, and maybe make a couple heat race wins. Go out there for the feature and do my best and have fun.
if you're not having fun, you might as well stay home, right?
Right. It's all about the fun.
Okay. And where is your hometown? What is your hometown?
Silver Lake. I'm like 5 minutes from the track, if that. Right around the corner.
There you go. So then you can give everybody one of the latest weather reports, right?
Yes, and quite often that it happens too. Is it raining over there? Is it raining? No, not in Silver Lake.
There's been times that it has not been raining at the racetrack and has been raining 2 minutes down the road on Highway C. So
Right. I've been at the track when it's raining out in the parking lot, but not on the track.
that's the Wilmot Vortex.
It has sometimes an invisible dome on it.
There you go. Well, again, Ralph, we very much appreciate. I personally appreciate what you did for me. It's a lot of fun. I have been given video. Some folks had video of it. When I was talking with Steve Sinclair last week, and I said, well, it did backfire. Going into 3 once, and he goes, that means you hit the rev limiter. So he said you had to be doing pretty good. And I must say that when my wife asked you how fast I was going, you were very kind. You told her I was, I think, going much faster than I had.
Hey, as long as you're having fun, it's all fast you need to go.
That's for sure. That's for sure. Well, again, Ralph, thank you very much. I look forward to seeing the 29J at Wilmot this Saturday night for opening night. It's the Mother Nature's looking like she's going to be nice this week and give us a beautiful 70-some degree night. So we're, fingers are all crossed, and we'll be looking forward to seeing you and all the other Wisconsin wingless sprint drivers at Wilmot this Saturday.
Sounds good. And maybe we'll get you back in the car again at another practice night if you'd like.
I just might
right.
take you up on that. I appreciate it.
All right, no problem, buddy.
Thanks a lot, Ralph. Take
Yep.
care. God bless. We'll see you at the track. Bye-bye. That was Ralph Johnson, driver of the 29J wingless sprint car at Wilmot Raceway. Again, Wilmot Raceway, their season opener this coming Saturday night. The grandstands will open at 5 o'clock. On-track activity getting underway at about between 5:30, 5:45-ish. Racing slated to follow the national anthem ceremony. The ceremony typically happens about 6:30. Racing planned to get underway at right around 6:45. For the latest information, you can go to wilmotraceway.com or check out the official Wilmot Raceway Facebook page. On the program Saturday night will be the wingless sprint cars, the IRA Lightning sprints, the modifieds, and the bandits. And the bandits and this is the cue, we'll bring him out of the green room now. We have Scott Carpenter from B&L Office Furniture, who besides us delivering and assembling my in-house studio, which we very much appreciate. And we didn't even have to do too much modification tonight at the end, but he has also come on board with American Racing, Great American Tire, correct?
Yeah, Great American Tire. Yep.
And as co-sponsors of the Bandit 4-cylinder stock cars division for the 2024 season. This is a total first for the Bandits to have a actual series sponsor and division sponsor. And I know all the guys and gals want to thank you, Scott, for your efforts in putting this all together with the folks from Great American Tire. And again, we very much appreciate it. But well, and we'll let you talk about that first. Tell us about your business first, and then we're going to talk about your racing.
So I work for my family, a family business. My father started it a little over 40 years ago here in Kenosha, actually in Pleasant Prairie. And we had a store, a really small store when we first started opening up. And then they saw a need that we needed to sell new office furniture as well as used office furniture. Then we bought a building in downtown Kenosha off of 60th, just a couple blocks off of Sheridan Road. We were there for about 30 years. And you remember in Kenosha when we had that big party and everybody was staying out late and starting fires? Well, they burned our store down that night. And I don't know if you knew that, Mike. I don't know if I ever told you that story, but we fell victim to them, and we lost our building, 10,000 square foot, everything in it. But we knew that we needed to keep going. My dad was, amazing, because while we're standing there looking at the smoke, coming up the next morning, his question to me was, so what do we got going on? Who needs to get taken care of? And we moved forward. And so now we're at a new location on 52nd Street. It used to be the Ukes Harley Davidson store. And they were in here for, quite some time, since the 60s, and moved out, I believe, in 2020 when they built their new location on the interstate. And we needed a building that just happened to still be owned by them and for sale. So we moved into here. And so we occupy another family business's building. And Mike, I tell people I don't own a Harley, but I have a Harley store.
There you go.
Yeah.
Well, and again, I mean, it was, a sad situation, not only for the city of Kenosha, but, for a lot of folks and a lot of respects for our country. Hopefully we've come back from that and can move forward, like you say, and we have seen a lot of folks move forward, like you and your family, and you do a lot for the community, and it's definitely a tip of the hat to you for doing that. So again, if folks are interested, I know, excuse me, I kiddingly said that I got this nice comfy seat here that does all kinds of tricks. And the table here is pretty stout too, and can do a lot of tricks. But so far my wife said, do you think Peanut's going to jump up on your table? And I said, well, if she does it once, she probably won't do it a second time. It's pretty high here. But again, folks that are interested, you and I were talking even when you came and put the set together for me, that more people are probably interested in the chair end of your business than tables. Not that they couldn't get a table from you, but a lot of times you just need a comfortable chair for your at-home office, or maybe your regular office. Maybe your boss allows you to bring your own chair in, and something that's better for your posture, better for your back, better for your lumbar, and all that kind of stuff. So, tell the folks a little bit about what they can expect or see from you.
Yeah. So if you come in, our showroom is set up with mainly new furniture, and then we have a pretty good selection of things to choose from. They give you ideas that we can order in for you, and that doesn't mean that it has to take a while. We're usually about a week turnaround for a product if we don't already have it in our warehouse or something. And then we have another room that is just full of brand new chairs, anything from, task seating to conference table seating to training rooms, flip top nesting chairs where the seats flip up and they push together so you can store them. High-end leather chairs to entry-level chairs. Chairs is a really big market for us. And we can even outfit a hauler with a stool, a drafting stool, if he needed to sit in there and at a high top table and do some work or something. We do garages. I had Mike, Todd Don, right?
Sure.
He came to me quite a few years ago, and he bought a 4-drawer lateral filing cabinet, the steel one with the wide drawers that open up and pull out. He got it because he could put tools and parts in there, and it was big enough to fit a drive shaft in for his wing sprint car. And I don't think he still has that in his trailer, but you can use things for other things. It doesn't have to be just for the office. They can be used in your garage or in your shop and stuff like that. But so there's 17,000 square feet we have in here. Some of it's storage space, but it's a pretty good sized building, and we got a lot of choices.
Somebody was asking earlier, they noticed that you do have obviously a Facebook page and that. Do you have a website? We
do. BNL, our blofficefurniture.com. Is it BNL? I think it's BNLofficefurniture.com. Spell it out, A-N-D. But yeah, we do. It's a basic page. It gives you the location where we're at. And I'm kind of working on it, trying to make it a little bit nicer, but that all takes time,
Well, maybe through some of the folks that we know that are involved in this, maybe we can get somebody to help you a little bit with that website. Well, now we're going to, no pun intended, shift gears and talk racing.
Sure.
You had the beautiful looking number 47 Bandit down at the car show a couple of weeks ago. And appreciate your support of the car show, as well, because you were very instrumental in us being able to get Jim Trado and Racing Roundup at the show. We appreciate that. But tell the folks a little bit about the number 47. And I know you finally hit the track last weekend for some practice.
Yeah, it was nice. Really enjoyed the track. Well, first off, I want to say my sponsors. Thank them. Great American Tire and Auto Repair in Kenosha. You need some tires, go hit them up. They got a good selection, good price. Our store, B&L Office Furniture. And then, of course, Luisa's Pizza out in Salem. You need some good food, go out there. They also got take and bake pizzas, too. In case you didn't know that, Mike, you can get a frozen pie from them, take it home and cook it. But, okay.
That would make Kathy very happy.
Yeah. And if they don't have what you're looking for, let them know and they'll make it for you.
There you go.
Yep. The track was great. I felt, our first series out at practice, it was a little dry, but I kind of like it that way more than slick. We don't have the tires and the width of the tires. We got skinny tires since they're street tires. We don't have a big lug pattern on them. It's really hard to come up with that. So to get traction, so it can be a little bit difficult. But yeah, the car, it was fast. To me, I felt really comfortable. At first, you tell yourself, I'm going to just take it easy, just kind of get a feel for it, see how it feels, make sure everything feels good. That only lasts for maybe a half a lap. And then you're like, well, let's go. And then you got to remind yourself, it's just a practice. Let's not wreck anything,
Right.
But the track was great. I really hope that's a prequel of what's to come. It felt really good.
Did you notice any newcomers? Anybody that was out there for the first time? That we can expect to see back.
Yeah. So last year, towards the end of the season, I don't remember his last name, but his first name's William, and I believe his parents drove a push truck on the track. And they got him into a Bandit. He's driving, it's a white Cavalier. I saw him out there. He was doing quite well. He was navigating himself around the track. He's still learning. I think that would have been, when we go back to racing, possibly only like fourth, maybe fifth race that he's ever ran in. So he's still really new. Mm-hmm. I believe Craig Cruiser, he's coming with a Bandit this year. I don't know if he'll make all the races because his son races a street stock. So he came in the store the other day and we were talking, and he said he might try to race, but if his son's racing, he may not be racing that night. But so he'll be a new one out there. And I believe, who else had some new people? I can't remember the gentleman's name. Met him for the first time too. But yeah, there's probably about 4 or 5 new people out there.
Well, that's fantastic. I mean, it's a division that actually was kind of a spinoff from Lake Geneva Raceway. When Lake Geneva closed, the four-cylinder guys and gals over there were looking for some place to go, and they approached, excuse me, Debbie and Andy, I believe, had the track then, Debbie and Andy Callan, and said, can we race at Wilmot? And Andy was like, well, let's see how many cars you get. How many do you think you'll get? And they're like, well, we don't know, because we're used to running asphalt. Now we got to run dirt, and are we going to have to change? And they started out, I don't know, very similar to the wingless cars. When the wingless began 10 years ago, there was like 6 of them for the first few weeks. And then, now we've seen 40 plus. With the Bandits, we probably started with like 6 or so, and now we've seen well over 30 on some nights.
Yeah.
So they are a fun division. Now, we don't have a lot of time left here, but I want you've got, and we mentioned it when we announced last week about the marketing partnership support of the Bandits. By yourself and Great American Tire and Auto Repair, B&L Office Furniture, as well. But Christmas is coming early for the Bandits this Saturday night, correct?
Yes, it is. A little bit of Christmas is coming early. Not the whole thing, but a little bit.
Just a little bit. There is a requirement, from what I understand, that the drivers that have gotten their membership for Wilmot Raceway for the 2024 season, that would also make them eligible for the point fund at the end of the season, as well as gets them a discount into the pits or into the grandstand. That's my understanding. If they don't go into the pits 1 week, or the Bandits have a week off and they want to go to the races and watch in the grandstands instead, they get a discount in the grandstand. So it's a pretty good deal. And the more drivers that get the memberships, the more drivers that will be eligible for the point fund, from what I understand. And you can correct me if I'm incorrect on any of this, but I know this was what was talked about when you and myself and Chris Klemko met, that this was how it was going to be able to expand what the Bandits have available for them.
Yeah. It was it's almost a no-brainer. When we were thinking about it, when we're talking, and I'm trying to figure out, because we don't really make a lot of money racing. It's entry level, so you don't get expected. You're not out there to make money,
right?
And you're doing it for fun. It's a hobby, and if you get a few bucks, it's like great. I ran my whole first season, and I think I made, I don't know, maybe $50 my first season. And then after that, it started getting better, and I'm like, oh, you get paid more, and when they came out, and I thought, I wanted to do some advertisement out there like I did last year, on a billboard, and then a co-racer of mine, he said, I wonder what it costs to sponsor a series, and I remember seeing it. They put it out on Facebook saying how much it was, and so I talked to Chris for about a moment, and he didn't know. And then you and I got together, and I thought, this just makes so much more sense, because it supports the track. We get advertisement for it. The money, which I wasn't aware of, a fair amount of the money goes back to the drivers for the payout at the end of the season. And I thought, well, that's nice. That's like a big bonus for them coming, and as opposed to what we had last year, which wasn't chump change, but it only trickled down to the top 5, where the track is looking at paying out to more, which is really kind of nice, and where possibly everybody who signs up for the membership will get paid out something decent. So I'm looking forward to seeing how that shakes out. Unfortunately, we won't find out till the end of the season, so I hope it takes its time. And then you want me to tell about the early Christmas present?
Yeah, you can tell about the early Christmas present. Christmas in May.
Yeah, in May. Sometimes it's in July, but this time it's in May. I'm thinking numbers. How do we make this affordable? And then I thought, what? you're looking at $125 to sign on. And my math in my head was telling me, after the $5 discount for coming just on the nights that you race, you would be out. Basically, you're at -75. We're not talking about prize money or anything like that.
Right.
And I thought, how do we get that to be a little bit less? Then us discussing it, we came up with, well, for everybody who signs on to the membership, signs up before the green flag drops on the first race, will get an additional $25 added into their purse for racing in the feature. And obviously, if you don't, we'll probably give you the $25 anyways. But
Santa's always nice.
yeah. But that helps bring the cost down. So now it's only a -50. And if you sign up and knowing that the money that we paid for the sponsorship and everything else that's coming from, going into the purse, you probably get that $50 back. So to me, it comes out as a wash. If I break even, then I'm happy in racing. You don't typically break even in racing.
Right. Well, again, thank you, Scott, very, very much. Thanks also to, obviously B&L Office Furniture and also Great American Tire and Auto Repair for your support of the Bandits and Wilmot Raceway. I look forward to seeing the number 47 joining me in Victory Lane this year at some point.
I hope so.
And we're also probably going to, at some point, get you back on the microphone with me. We had a lot of fun with that last year. So on some night that you're off or the Bandits are off, we'll see what we can work out.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun, Mike.
All right. Well, again, we're going to let you go because, believe it or not, I'm going to get black flagged here pretty soon because we're hitting curfew. So again, thanks very much, Scott, and
thank you, Mike. Thank you,
and thank you, viewers out there. I saw Sean Sticks out there that had chimed in with us at one point. Coach Papa, Tim Stewart, who has a program also on 21.6 The Net, said hello. Always good to see him. Also want to remind folks, check out NICASA's NASCAR Giving Day that's coming up in May in a few weeks. We'll have more information on that next week as well. And I've had the hat on here, and I'll try to do this without getting too emotional, but I was very blessed to participate in the Lake County Honor Flight last weekend. And my veteran, who I got to become very good friends with in 3 days, was Frank Rivetto from Glendale Heights, 89-year-old Air Force Cold War veteran who was a meteorologist in the Air Force. So, Frank, we may call upon you from time to time to get the weather report for Wilmot. If you have never done an honor flight or seen an honor flight, I encourage you to do so. You can go to LCHF24, their Facebook page, or Lake County Honor Flight Facebook page, and see a lot of what we experienced over the 3 days in Washington, D.C. They do have some different fundraisers coming up. I do want to thank Shelly from Snarf Foods and Snacks for the troops. You can go to Snarf Foods and help her out with that program that she's got going. And also the Shriners have their onion sale this weekend. I know they're at the Shanty. They're out in Fox Lake, and I can't remember the other community that they're in. Just Google Shriners onion sale, and that helps a lot of the various programs that the Shriners do as well. So that's going to wrap up for show number 3. Again, we want to thank our sponsors, B&L Office Furniture, RC Communications, Great Lakes Dragaway, Interstate Racing Association, Outlaw Sprint Cars, and the Wingless Sprints and the IRA Lightning Sprints, Wilmot Raceway, A1 Apparel and Diecast, Lake County Hose and Equipment, Buddy's Pizza of McHenry. Again, we're going to be coming out there sometime soon. And also my granddaughter, who provides my haircuts, Kelly, not Kelly, Kelly's her mother, Kaylee Burns. And thank you very much, Kaylee. And so that's going to wrap it up for this week. Until we see you next time, until we see you at Wilmot Raceway this coming Saturday night for our season opener. This is Mike Babicz wishing you a pleasant evening. the best of tomorrows. Remember, kids, just say no to drugs. Thanks. Good night. God bless everybody. And we'll see you at the races.
Yeah.